Well, for some analysis on the conclusion of two sessions, we're joined by Sourabh Gupta. He's a resident senior fellow at the Institute for China-American Studies. Thanks very much, Sourabh. Always a pleasure to see you. Now that this is wrapped up, I'm curious your big takeaway. Clearly, the economy opening up and Beijing's position with Washington, D.C. always seem to be right at the top of the agenda.
My big takeaway out here is that at the two sessions meeting, it was an ushering in of the new. There were a lot of new personnel appointments to very, very important positions, but also at the same time trying to maintain stability and keeping the economy on an even keel and hoping that that would be a foundation for further growth. So it was this feature of stability while at the same time bringing in the new and looking forwards that I thought was the most important takeaways from the two sessions meeting.
Let's talk a bit about the new leaders. Obviously, the former ambassador to the United States taking on a very key role. How do you think that is going to move forward? And what is it going to do to the ongoing discussions, if there are any, between the United States and China in an effort to find better common ground for the world's two largest economies?
I think the Chinese side has shown that it is willing and open to have cooperative relations, but not on any terms. There needs to be for two hands to clap. Both sides do need to want to have that better relationship. I think both sides are striving towards it, but the relationship is difficult to construct given the current state of the bilateral relationship. Mr. Qinggang is very fluent. He speaks well. He is on message. He has the trust of the senior leadership. So I think he will be an authoritative interlocutor in this regard. But overall, I'd say again in this area we are seeing stability. You know, it didn't happen at the two sessions, but it happened at the Party Congress in 20th Party Congress in October. The two folks who kept their positions despite being over the mandatory retirement age, Wang Yi and the vice chairman of the Central Military Commission, they both remained in their spots. Those are very, very important positions on the Politburo. And so I think the focus is on stability, not just economic policy, but also in foreign and security policy and doing the needful to protect China's interests.
You know, sir, when you talk about the stability and also moving forward, more than 400 million people in the middle class. That is very enticing to so many businesses around the world, and China certainly wants to embrace this as well, going from made in China to manufactured in China. What do you see coming out in the next year to 2 years with this new leadership and with, again, the stability and continuing to move forward with opening up?
I think it's fascinating, actually, to have the new premier who was party secretary in Shanghai until recently. It's important. First of all, I think he gave a powerful message, delivered a powerful message in a speech press conference, but at the same time, it was a nuanced message and a realistic message. And the important message coming forward from him was one of optimism. He chose to see through a glass half full rather than the lens of a glass half empty, that there's potential opportunities. Now, the important thing about him being party secretary in Shanghai is because Shanghai was a test bed for next round of reform and opening up, which did happen. But at the same time, also, it was an important test bed for further liberalization of hukou reform. And so he has this delicate balance, which he has faced and will need to face in the future between labor and capital, and how to make it both industry-centric and advance to higher level development, while also being people-centric and ensure that people have social protections and can get wealthy and the economy can be more inclusive. So frankly, for the next year or two, it will be, I think, wait with anticipation to see how Premier Li goes ahead with his tasks at hand.
Sir, we only have about 30 seconds left, but before the pandemic, I covered two sessions a number of times, and I noticed there was very little Western coverage. It seemed a lot different this year, a lot more coverage.
Yes, but I think from the West, it's more for a lens of a Cold War and with the new leadership at the State Council, and to see how those elements would integrate and play themselves out. I would say if that is the case, they're going to be disappointed because it's more about stability. It's more about looking forward to make the internal reforms in the data area, technology area, finance area, to become a little bit more self-sufficient, to be able to cope well and compete well in the international economic system.
Well said. Sourabh Gupta, as always, a pleasure. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.